Have you ever checked your bank account and thought, am I actually making progress or am I just spinning my wheels? Maybe you've been saving, investing, or paying off debt for months, or even years, but it still feels like you're stuck in the same place. Let me ask you something. When you picture someone who's made it financially, what do you see? Maybe you imagine a millionaire with a fancy car and a big house, or you think it's just about having a six-figure salary. But here's the truth. There are three specific net worth milestones that quietly change everything about your financial life. And the best part? You don't need to be a millionaire or even close to experience the first two. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to She Invests, where we make money make sense for anyone who's ready to build real wealth, one step at a time. Today, I'll share three net worth milestones that can change how you see money. I'll also explain how to reach each one, no matter your starting point. Let's think of your financial journey, like climbing a mountain. At the bottom, every step feels steep and slow. You're sweating, you're tired, and you can't even see the view yet. But as you reach certain ledges, everything changes. The air feels lighter, the view gets better, and suddenly you realize you're not just climbing, you're rising. Each milestone isn't just a number. It's a new vantage point, a new set of options, and a new sense of freedom. So let's start the climb. The first $10,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save or invest. It's not glamorous, it's not rich, but it's the moment you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. Imagine this. You track every dollar, say no to takeout, maybe take on a side hustle, and watch your savings grow, slowly. It feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill, and sometimes you wonder if it's even worth it. I remember when I was saving my first $10,000. It felt like every little setback, a flat tire, a surprise bill, a friend's birthday dinner, was a mountain. I'd save $500, then have to spend $300. It was two steps forward, one step back. But here's why this milestone matters. Your first $10,000 isn't just money, it's proof. Proof that you can set a goal and stick to it. Proof that you can delay gratification even when it's hard. And proof that you're not just surviving, you're building. If you save $200 a month, it'll take you just over 4 years to reach $10,000. If you can save $400 a month, you'll get there in just over 2 years. And if you can find a way to save $800 a month, maybe by combining a side hustle with cutting expenses, you'll hit $10,000 in just over a year. But it's not just about the speed. It's about the habits you build along the way. You learn to budget, to say no to impulse buys, to automate your savings, and to celebrate small wins. Because once you have $10,000, you have options. You can handle a surprise car repair without panic. You can invest and actually see your money start to work for you. And you start to realize, if I can do this, what else am I capable of? What would you do if you had $10,000 saved right now? Would you feel less anxious, more confident? Would you finally take that class, start that business, or just sleep better at night? If you're not there yet, focus on building your first $10,000. Whether it's in savings, investments, or a mix, automate your transfers. Celebrate every $1,000 milestone. And remember, this is the hardest part. It gets easier from here. Pause for a second and imagine logging into your bank account and seeing $10,000 with your name on it. How would that change your day, your week, your sense of security? You might be thinking, but I have debt. That's okay. Start small. Even $10 a week is progress. The habit matters more than the amount. Don't let comparisons steal your progress. It doesn't matter if your friend saved $10,000 in a year and it takes you 3. Your journey is your own, and every dollar is a step up the mountain. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, Emily, was a single mom working 2 jobs. She started by saving just $25 a week. It took her almost 5 years. But when she hit $10,000, she said it was the first time in her life she felt safe. Not rich, safe. That's the power of this milestone. Let's talk about what $10,000 can do for you. It's a real emergency fund, enough to cover 3 to 6 months of basic expenses for most people. It's a launch pad for investing. Even if you only invest half, that's $5,000 working for you in the market. It's a buffer that lets you say no to things that drain you and yes to things that matter. If you're struggling to save, try the pay yourself first method. Set up an automatic transfer the day you get paid, even if it's just $20. You'll be amazed how quickly it adds up. What are some ways to reach your first $10,000 faster? Sell unused items around your home. Take on a weekend gig or freelance project. Cut one recurring expense and redirect that money to savings. Use windfalls, tax refunds, bonuses, birthday money to boost your fund. Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself with $10,000 in the bank. How would you walk into work? How would you handle a surprise bill? That's the confidence you're building, dollar by dollar. Remember, the first $10,000 is about grit, not glamour. It's about building the muscle of consistency. And once you have it, you'll never see money the same way again. Sometimes, the journey to each milestone feels lonely, especially if you don't see anyone around you doing the same thing. But you're not alone. There are thousands of people quietly building wealth, one paycheck at a time, even if nobody's posting about it on Instagram. I remember a time when I felt embarrassed to say no to a night out because I was saving for my emergency fund. Looking back, I'm so grateful I did. Every no to something small was a yes to something bigger down the road. One thing I wish more people talked about is the emotional side of money. Hitting your first $10,000 or $100,000 isn't just a financial win, it's a mental shift. Suddenly, you start to trust yourself. You realize you can handle setbacks, and you stop panicking over every unexpected bill. That confidence spills over into other areas of your life. You negotiate better, you set boundaries, and you start to dream a little bigger. Money isn't just about numbers. It's about how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Let's talk about setbacks, because they're part of every wealth journey. Maybe you lose your job, face a medical bill, or have to help a family member. When you have a financial cushion, these moments are stressful, but they're not devastating. I've had friends telling me, I had to use half my emergency fund, but I didn't go into debt. I rebuilt it, and now I feel even stronger. Remember, progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes the detours teach you the most. Now, let's talk about the magic of six figures. Not your salary, but your net worth. What would it feel like to know that your money is making more money than you are? At $100,000, compound interest starts to do the heavy lifting. You're no longer the only one pushing the boulder. Your money is pushing with you. Imagine this. You've been investing consistently, maybe in index funds or a 401k. At first, your gains are tiny. $50 here, $100 there. But as your net worth grows, so do your returns. An 8% return on $100,000 is $8,000 a year. That's more than $650 a month, without you lifting a finger. Let's put that in perspective. $8,000 a year is enough to cover a year's worth of groceries for a family of 4, or a year's rent in many cities, or a 2-week vacation every single year for the rest of your life. Because now, your money is working as hard as you are. You start to see real progress, and setbacks don't feel as scary. You can take a career risk, start a business, or take a break because you have a financial cushion. When I hit $100,000 in net worth, I remember feeling a shift. Suddenly, I wasn't just saving for emergencies, I was building for opportunities. I could say yes to things I'd always wanted to try and no to things that didn't serve me. If you're past $10,000, make $100,000 your next target. Keep investing automatically. Don't get distracted by shiny investments. Stick to what works. And remember, every dollar you invest now is a future teammate. Think about this. If you could make $8,000 a year without working extra hours, what would you do with that time or money? You might be thinking, but $100,000 sounds impossible. It's not. If you invest $500 a month at 8%, you'll reach $100,000 in about 10 years, even if you're starting from zero. If you can do $1,000 a month, you'll get there in just over 6 years. And here's the best part. The habits you built to reach $10,000 are the same ones that will get you to $100,000. It's just a matter of time and consistency. Don't let lifestyle inflation eat your progress. As your net worth grows, it's tempting to upgrade your life. New car, bigger apartment, fancier vacations. But every dollar you spend on status is a dollar you're taking away from your future freedom. Let's look at a real example. Sarah started investing at 28, putting $400 a month into a simple index fund. She didn't touch it, didn't try to time the market, just kept going. By 38, she had $100,000. She told me, yeah, I never thought I'd be someone with six figures, but now my money is working for me, and I finally feel like I have choices. Let's talk about the snowball effect. When you have $10,000 invested at 8%, you make $800 a year. At $50,000, it's $4,000 a year. At $100,000, it's $8,000 a year. The more you have, the faster it grows. That's why this milestone is so powerful. It's the tipping point where your money starts to do the heavy lifting. If you're not sure where to invest, start with a low-cost index fund. Set up automatic contributions, and don't check your balance every day. Let time and compounding do their thing. Picture your money as a team of workers. At $10,000, you have a few helpers. At $100,000, you have a whole crew working 24/7, never taking a sick day, never asking for a raise. That's the power of compound interest. At this stage, you start to see yourself as an investor, not just a saver. You realize that wealth isn't about luck or privilege. It's about habits, patience, and letting your money work for you. What if the market crashes? If you're investing for the long term, market dips are just bumps in the road. In fact, there are opportunities to buy more at a discount. Should you pay off your mortgage or invest? There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but if your mortgage rate is low, investing often gives you a better long-term return. What if you start late? It's never too late. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Another thing that changes as you hit these milestones is your relationship with risk. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, every decision feels high stakes. But as your net worth grows, you can afford to take smart risks, like investing in yourself, starting a side business, or even switching careers. I know a woman who used her $100,000 cushion to go back to school for a degree she'd always wanted. Today, she's earning more, but more importantly, she's happier and more fulfilled. Let's not forget about giving. One of the most beautiful things about building wealth is the ability to help others. Generosity feels special when it comes from abundance. Whether you're helping a friend, donating to a cause, or covering someone's bill, it all matters. I've seen women in our community create scholarship funds, sponsor local events, and even start their own charities, all because they reached that point where they had enough and wanted to share it. As you climb these milestones, you'll notice your goals start to shift. At first, it's all about security, making sure you're safe, your bills are paid, and you can handle emergencies. But as you grow, your focus turns to freedom and impact. You start asking, what do I want my life to look like? What legacy do I want to leave? That's when money becomes a tool, not a source of stress. It's there to help you build the life you want, not just survive the one you have. Here's a practical tip that helped me and so many others. Track your net worth every month. Not your income, not your spending, your net worth. Watching that number grow, even slowly, is incredibly motivating. It keeps you focused on the big picture, especially when you're tempted to splurge or when progress feels slow. And don't be discouraged by dips. Markets go up and down, but your habits are what matter most. I want to address something that holds a lot of women back, the myth that you have to do it alone. You don't. Find a community, whether it's online in your city or right here in the She Invests comments. Share your wins, your struggles, your questions. Celebrate each other. Wealth building is so much easier and a lot more fun when you have people cheering you on and holding you accountable. Finally, remember that every milestone is worth celebrating. Don't wait until you hit $500,000 or $1 million to feel proud. Celebrate your first $100, your first $1,000, your first investment. Every step is a victory. Every dollar is a seed. And every milestone, no matter how small, is proof that you're moving forward. So take a moment right now to acknowledge how far you've come and get excited for how much further you can go. Now, let's talk about the milestone where everything changes. Not just your finances, but your life. Imagine you have $500,000 in net worth. Maybe it's in your retirement accounts, your home equity, or your investments. At this level, your money can generate $20,000, $30,000, or even $40,000 a year in passive income. Why is this so powerful? Because now you have true freedom. You can choose to work or not. You can help your family, travel, or pursue a passion project. Losing a job isn't a crisis, it's an inconvenience. Let's do the math. If you have $500,000 invested at 8%, that's $40,000 a year in returns. That's more than the median household income in many parts of the US. And if you keep going, $1 million at 8% is $80,000 a year. Enough to retire comfortably, help your kids, or give back to your community. I've seen women reach this milestone and completely transform their lives. One friend used her financial freedom to start a nonprofit. Another took a year off to travel the world with her kids, and another simply slept better at night, knowing she'd never have to worry about money again. If you're on your way to $500,000, keep your focus. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Don't let comparisons steal your progress. And remember, this milestone isn't about bragging rights. It's about options, security, and peace of mind. Pause and imagine. If you never had to worry about money again, what would you do with your time, your energy, your life? You might be thinking, that sounds so far away. But every $10,000, every $50,000, every $100,000 is a step closer. And the journey gets easier as you go because your money starts working for you. The same habits that got you to $10,000 and $100,000 will get you to $500,000 and beyond. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Let's talk about Maria. She started investing in her 30s after a divorce and with 2 kids. She set a goal to reach $500,000 by 50. She automated her savings, kept her expenses low, and said no to lifestyle creep. At 49, she hit her goal. She told me that she never thought she'd be the kind of woman who could retire early. But now, she has choices. She can help her kids, travel, and give back. What's more powerful than that? At this level, you can start thinking about legacy. What do you want your money to do for you, your family, your community? You can start a scholarship, fund a cause, or simply enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're secure. Imagine waking up and knowing your bills are covered, your future is secure, and you have the freedom to say yes to what matters most. At this stage, you realize that wealth isn't just about money. It's about time, choices, and impact. Now, how do you stay motivated on the way to $500,000? Celebrate every milestone, track your progress, find a community, like She Invests, to cheer you on. What if you make a mistake? Mistakes are part of the journey. Learn, adjust, and keep going. How do you avoid lifestyle creep? Automate your savings and investments. Give yourself permission to enjoy some of your money, but keep your eyes on the bigger goal. Here's where most people get stuck. As your net worth grows, so does the temptation to upgrade your life. New car, bigger house, fancier vacations. But here's the truth. Every dollar you spend on status is a dollar you're taking away from your future freedom. Would you rather impress strangers or build a life you love on your own terms? I once worked with a client who hit $100,000 in net worth and immediately leased a luxury car. Within 2 years, she was back to living paycheck to paycheck because her monthly expenses had ballooned. It took her another 3 years to get back to $100,000, and she told me she wished she'd kept driving her old Honda. You deserve nice things, but you deserve financial freedom even more. So let's recap. Your first $10,000 is your foundation. $100,000 is when your money starts working for you. And $500,000 plus is where you unlock real freedom. No matter where you are right now, your next milestone is within reach. It's not about being perfect, it's about taking the next step. What's your next milestone? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and join the She Invests community. We're building wealth together, one milestone at a time. Your future self is already proud of you. Let's keep climbing.